We're joined now by one of the top minds in the consulting industry, Activate CEO Michael Wolf. Michael, great to see you. You know, I do believe Coinbase going public does signal a paradigm shift in cryptocurrency adoption, but that we are far from full-blown nationwide usage. So my question to you is, where do you see it? How long is that runway before we get to nationwide adoption?
I think that this really comes down to today, Bitcoin and overall Ethereum and others, they're really stores of value. They're not yet strong vias for payments. So what's going to make a difference? It's when investors are able to buy funds. Today, you've got Morgan Stanley, which is offering the ability for its wealthier clients to buy. Goldman is going to become the second to offer a Bitcoin fund. Fidelity has already filed an application to do so. So once we see all of the big firms, whether it's BlackRock or it's Bank of America or it's JP Morgan, until we see that the average investor is able to include an investment in Bitcoin as part of their savings or their portfolio, that's when we're going to see this really taking off.
If you had to narrow it down to one of those names, if they jump out in front and say, we're ready, here it is, which one would that be that really triggers the national conversation?
I think it's BlackRock. And the reason is because just a few years ago, Larry Fink called Bitcoin a currency for money launderers. And now they're already recommending and it's enabling a couple of their funds to purchase Bitcoin. I think when there's massive ETFs associated with it from BlackRock, I think it's going to make a huge difference.
Oh, okay. You're making news there. You know, what are you hearing from your clients in media and technology? So sort of not necessarily on the other side of those who offer it, but the people who have the opportunity to strike deals, like you do work with Disney, you do work with our parent company, Fox, where you can suddenly start betting on Fox Bet with say, for example, crypto. What are you hearing from these big names?
We're a long way away for crypto to be a means, an easy means for people to pay. And the reason is because it just isn't that kind of volume. But what we are going to see is we're going to see crypto becoming an important part of certainly large transactions. It's going to be ways in which there's a whole set of merchants, so companies like PayPal are going to allow a lot of their merchants to charge via Bitcoin. So I think the big technology companies and entertainment companies are all standing by waiting to see how this is going to fit into their overall businesses.
Yeah, well, I would say, though, Coinbase's debut has triggered explosive moves, not just for Bitcoin, but Ethereum. You know, you had an Ether options market seeing record open interest of about $3 billion. And on top of that, I happen to be randomly looking at my Twitter feed, and Ripple, of course, Ripple XRP, another currency, they put out a tweet saying, hey, you know, we're hiring right now. So it all seems to be coming together. You know, your last thought on this before we get to non-fungible tokens.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first public listing of a major cryptocurrency company. Investors are hungry to get a piece of this hot market. And so it's not surprising that Coinbase is of great interest. The way to think about Coinbase, though, is it's an exchange. And it's comparable to the New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ. It's going to be one of those few places where people are going to be able to have a market and a way of easily trading Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a whole bunch of others.
Speaking of going mainstream, I wouldn't say NFTs are there yet, but non-fungible tokens are certainly grabbing a ton of attention. You know, we know about the Beeple painting that went for $69 million on Christie's. Now we have Sotheby's, which just sold something done by an anonymous artist named Pac for $2 million. And it's basically a link to a cube. A cube, literally a cube. And so, I mean, I'm thinking to myself, how do we wrap our minds around? Is this here to stay, Michael, or is it really just like the Beanie Baby of digital?
I think the place where it becomes real is not at these price levels, but the place it becomes real is when you look at things like sports trading cards or cyber collectibles, where it's very valuable for somebody to own, to really have a piece of it. So if you look at the NBA Top Shot offers the ability for individuals to buy exclusive clips, and there's a lot of interest. And as we see trading cards going into NFTs, then we're going to see a lot more interest. And also the players. This is a way for the players to earn more money versus when they just sell a cardboard card, they only get that first time. Where this is going to become most important as we move into people spending more and more time in video game metaverses. And so suddenly a painting that you bought as an NFT goes on your wall in a metaverse, and it's very different than it going on your wall in your home, because there really isn't any way for that to happen except for an electronic frame. So they're here to stay. These numbers for these paintings are crazy, but those are going to be anomalies. What's more important are individual pieces of artwork, sports collectibles. We're going to see this continue to explode.
All right. If you say so. I want it on my wall. I don't want it on some digital Tron type of world. But that's just me. Michael, great to see you. Thank you very much for coming on to really talk about where the pulse is for both cryptos and NFTs. Michael Wolf of Activate. Thanks.
It's an exciting time. Thank you.